Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, what time it is when you're checking out this video. This is Mikhail Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studios, and I'm here today to draw Pokemon. Gotta draw them all, Pokemon. Nah, don't worry. I'm not gonna be singing throughout the video, but I am good today. Is going to show you how to draw a few of my favorite Pokemon. As you can see here on the screen here, I have Gengar. He's a ghost poison Pokemon type, and I'm going to be showing you just a couple of solid tools to how to start your drawing, and hopefully with the tips I give you today will allow you and hopefully be helpful to get your skill level to a whole new level when it comes down to it. All right. When I was a teenager, and I'm pretty much in my 40s, Pokemon was very popular, and I'm so ecstatic that it still is that I'd be able today to show you how to draw Pokemon. All right, so let's get started, shall we? So when I start drawing, I usually have like a pencils that's already sharpened, uh, a good eraser, and a sharpener. Now, a good eraser, what I mean by that is a kneaded eraser or a rubber eraser. You can get those at any art store or even order them on Amazon. I never really depend too much on a number two pencil eraser. They're not too reliable on getting the needs that you need to clean your paper when you have to erase a mistake. But anyway, I'll be working off from right now is a digital tablet. I know that's pretty much different than what you probably have at home, but if you follow along how to draw these certain Pokemon I'm going to have on display here, you can learn a little bit how to start a drawing and hopefully finish. All right, so I'm just right now getting myself ready. Give me one moment. All right. So, Gengar, I love drawing Gengar for one thing. He's pretty simple, and I think it'll be a great exercise to begin. To at least get your blood circulating in your hand and a nice little warm up session. Now, when it comes to drawing, everything is basically utilizing shapes and line work when it comes to getting a very powerful outcome finish. So when you start your drawing, I recommend not focusing on creating a circle, but just allow your pencil, whoops, allow your pencil guide, glide across the paper. Doesn't have to be perfect, all right? And then what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to put a line going straight through, like so. And then, of course, another line, crisscross action, going down the circle. Now, this will help me center the necessary detail line work that I need to place onto his face. Like right here, for instance, this line will be for the eyes. And I'm going to be putting another line. Notice how I doing it very round like. I'm not making a straight line. This will be for the mouth. All right. I'm going to be looking at the reference. Make sure you always have a reference when you draw the Pokemon or any drawing as necessary, actually. And if you haven't not noticed that I'm doing it very lightly. I can't stress that any further. I'm looking at the reference onto my right hand side, and then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put in a few of the appendages, like his arms and legs in. So I'm going to start right here, more like a rounded appendage, like a rectangle, very lightly. And notice how I'm doing it very loosely on the page. So they like the arms are like pretty much like triangles. I'm gonna put a circle here. That's gonna be his one of his legs there that's running toward you. And then he has a back leg, more like another circle behind him as he's running toward you there. And then I'm going to put a curved triangle dead center. You see how I have the line going center down vertically down the middle? I'm going to start the tail there, as you can see, if you not noticed, with a point at the end. And then I'm going to put a circle here and a circle. We just erase that. A circle here. That's going to be for his feet. All right. Now the line that I put across horizontally, the first line, I'm going to put the eyes. So I'm just going to put a circle here, centered right on that line there. There we go. And then following that, I'm going to put the smile. Just pretty much a circular line under that line I created. Might add just a little bit more on top there. But the lines are not supposed to be always perfect to where you're going to be placing things there. The lines are there are just offering guidelines to yourself there. So you can know where everything's going to be fitting. Everything you know is seem to be centered. If you need to, you can always use a ruler. If you want to like make sure that the lines are straight, having the ruler going at flat across the page, going across horizontally across the page. Make sure everything is straight, like you know, it's in within same measurements that you need to be having it. So then I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put triangles onto the forehead. Now what I'm going to do here is I see that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles, and so you know as the spikes on his head is. So right here, dead center on that line there, I'm going to begin starting putting the first triangle. Then the second triangle. Then he has one large triangle. That basically like a few inches away from his arm. There we go. Starting on the next side now, he has a larger triangle. Let me just erase this. Again, starting from the center line that I created, he has a larger triangle. Then another small one. And they seem to be going the other direction. And then another horn-like triangle. And then it's again a few inches away from his arm. There we go. So I know it doesn't look like much, very sketchy, but at this point, this is what I call basically is setting the foundation. What I mean by that is that I know that everything is going to fit on the page. I feel confident that, you know, I don't have to have any cutoffs. Like, you know, basically a lot of anime lately, you know, has a lot of extremities where it's huger, larger than life, and basically, whoops. Yeah, we're gonna get to that one in a minute. So I know basically everything is gonna be starting at, you know, everything's gonna fit on the page. I don't have to worry about anything getting cut off, any appendages, any hair or weaponry, anything like that. It's going to fit on the page. So now, I'm going to do is just get a little bit closer. I'm going to do is start another layer, and I'm using Photoshop just to let you guys know I'm working off a Syntec uh, Wacom 12-inch screen. I'm going to lower down to opacity. Why? It's because, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, is that this is how light your drawing should be. All right, it should be this light when you actually doing the pencil sketch. You shouldn't be pressing anything hard down onto your drawing, onto your paper. Pardon. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working a little bit more detail onto the drawing here. Now I know he has like a very his eyes are very arched down. And then I'm going to add the little dot here for the iris. Now that I feel more confident, I can start working on the details now. Now you see here, I'm I'm letting it start right here at the line. If you notice, tracing over the pencil sketch that I did. All right. Then I'm going to work on that smile. Then I'm going to work on the line work here. He has like 4 lines showing his teeth there. Little line detail to show anatomy. I want to show that, you know, his eyes are capable of closing. All right, so far so good. Now let's work on a little bit more onto the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with on top there with the hair. Give me 1 minute. Just trying to choose a better brush. All right, let's go ahead. Then I'm going to go up. Let me zoom. Now I'm going to work on to the arm here. I'm going to follow the line that I created as a guide. Now onto his fingers, he has like just web-like fingers, like triangles really. So I'm going to go up, point. Let me zoom. Another triangle, another triangle there. Then I'm going to go down, meet with the body. She's going to clean up some of this line work here. Then I'm going to go meet down to the leg. Now this leg here is behind his body, so I can confidently go right over it. And so is his tail. All right, so as I see there, now I'm going to work a little bit more onto his leg that's behind him. Now, when it comes to this character, like I said, he's a ghost Pokemon and also a poisonous Pokemon. Um, he also is evolved from Hunter and Ghastly. This is like his final form estate. But believe it or not, he actually has two more other forms, and that's which are called Mega Gengar and Gigantamax. So amazing. You notice how I'm not going to close in the circle because the foot is still part of his body. You don't want to make it look like it's just floating behind his leg. So you want to show attachments of the anatomy. Now that circle I created, I'm going right around it, and then I'm going to put three triangles. Like so. Then let's work on that other leg that's in front of him. Now his foot is going this way, right? So that's the direction we want. So I'm going to go start the middle, another triangle, going around. All right. Then from there, another circle following the body. And then I'm going to go up his arm here. Let me do that a little bit better. Then once again, the three triangles. Two, three. Sometimes you will have to erase if you think you made a mistake. That's why I say, if you're not feeling confident into your drawing, you can always do it very lightly, and then once you feel confident that things looking good, then you can press a little bit harder and either start inking it, or you can just use your pencil and just go a little bit harder on the detail. There we go. Awesome. Now at this point, you should be erasing the guidelines that you don't need. You can start, get rid of like that line down the center, all the unnecessary lines you don't need. You can start erasing that now. Me using a digital tablet, obviously, all I can do since I started on a different layer is mainly just you know um, get rid of the layer. Now, so I'm gonna show you some other techniques that I like to use when I'm doing my drawing and whatnot. And I basically like doing is like adding a couple of shading onto your artwork. Where what I do is in what I call cross hatching. I'm gonna be looking at the drawing here, and uh, cross hatching lining is mainly it's just using lines as so. Let me zoom in a little bit, and you see here the how spread out the lines are, the lighter is. But of course, as you get closer together, the darker it gets, and then you can spread out again. You can even do crisscross action to add texture. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to start, like basically inking this character a little bit more, and I'll show you what I mean in just a sec. So I see that he has some shading there, things like that, and I'm going to be looking at basically starting here at his hair. Let me get rid of the extra line work. There we go. Then I'm going to add like just a match, like a very thin line, just as it shows onto the reference. And then add like that cross hatch line that I mentioned. Now, of course, you don't have to do this. You can either color your drawings, use a pencil or marker, or color pencils, I mean, or inks, things like that. You can do all that if you wish. All I'm doing is just letting my pencil glide across the screen there. Certain areas that you want darker than usual, you can add more lines. I'm going to just thicken, basically inking my drawing just a little bit. Just to make it pop a little bit. Oh man, that was bad, huh? All right. All right. All right. So there you go. There's our Gengar. All right. And an artist always signs his work. So if you ever not seen just yet, um, we already going to have a few more here. So stay tuned. Let's check it out. Let's see what else is next. Let's see. Let me just get rid of Gengar here. And you probably already know what's next anyway, so. All right, so now we got our little warm up. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the mother load here. We're gonna go to one of my other favorites, Mewtwo, who is a psychic type legendary Pokemon, and he too was also introduced in first gen of Pokemon, and it was created by using the DNA of Mew. All right, so this is going to be a little bit more because he has a lot more body and more anatomy to work with. So let's go ahead and begin. So when I start the drawing, again, same thing. I can't stress this any further. I like to start with the head. All right. And since this is more of a side view, I like to have, instead of the line going center like this, I have the center line go more toward this way. Because that's the direction he's actually looking. All right. Let me just see this. Then he has a neck, very long neck. This will be the shoulder and the upper body. I do another line here. All right, that'll know how to split the body. You know, like basically center everything. You notice how it's not going straight down again. It's again once again going toward that way because his chest, his body is pretty much more of at a quarter angle. I'm going to put a circle here and a circle there. These are going to be his shoulders. I'm going to put another circle here. That's going to be his arm. And another circle, that will be his hand that's reaching out to you. Circle here, circle there, circle everywhere. Those will be his fingers. Then I'm going to put a line from that circle. That's going to be his arm. That's going to be indicating that little dot there is going to indicate his elbow. That's his forearm. That's going to be his hand here. All right. Don't worry, folks. We'll get to the rest of the body in just a sec. This right here is going to be this box-like shape will be his midsection. I'm going to do now is shrink this. Oops. We need to disproportion it that way. There we go. I know it's not fair because you guys are probably working on paper and I can do this, but this is the only way I can make sure that the whole entire body fits. I'm going to put a circle here. Another circle here, like more like an oval really. And another oval here. These will be his hips. A rectangle. Another rectangle shape. Kind of curved, I know. A oval. Another circle here to show his back toe there. Another oval here, circle, circle. And then, of course, bouncing off the circle I created for his midsection, I'm talking about right here. I'm going to have the circle, you notice how it's getting a little bit darker, going outward. Then out again in the curve motion. Like so. All right, I'm not going to worry too much on the details just yet. Let's get to it now. Now I know everything fits on the page. Looks, you know, I know everything's going to be there. The tail won't be able to be cut off. The ears are going to be cut off. The arms and hands, things like that, don't have to be cut off. Everything should fit on the page. So let's get a little bit closer now. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to go toward the eye. This is the line for the eye. I'm going to put a circle here. Then another circle there. That's going to be here for his snout, his nose and mouth. Off from there, I'm going to put his signature grin. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on like a box here, or from his skull. This will be his ears. Notice how the ear is basically bouncing right on top of the eye there. When you look at the reference, you have to look at these things and notice where things are being placed. And again, working off that ear there. All right. So once again, this is my skeleton, my foundation. And now I'm going to go into step 2, which is basically refining the line. I'm going to lower the opacity, which again, your pencil sketch should be this light. And then it'll be time to add in the fine line details. So I know his eyebrow is arched down. So I'm going to bounce off the line that I curated. Right? Then I'm going to add in the eye, add in the detail for the eye. It meets with the arch, circular motion. And then he has a very huge pupil looking toward the look not centered, but it's more toward the corner of his eye there. Adding two circles here, one the dark iris, and the other one is the little glimmer shine that most anime eyes normally have. Then I'm going to add the cross hatching lines, and then I'm going to erase that dark line there around the circle. Look at that. So it looks a little bit better. Look at that. Looks a lot better now, right? And then from the center line here, that center line, I'm going to start the bridge of his nose, bouncing off from there. See how that I'm not making it like a full circle? I actually made like a corner box like shape at the tip and then circle it in. Closing it right by that signature grin he always offers. He's never happy. He's always has things on his mind. And then I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a nostril here. Again, bouncing off from the line that I created here, centering it. Then I'm going to add in the bottom of his mouth there. Here we go. And then right from the top of right there, I'm going to add the next side of his head here. Again, it's not circle, but I did the circle, so I know where everything is going to be at. There we go. And then coming from the cranium, we're gonna add in that ear. Curved, not don't have everything look too flat and boxed. You want to make sure that this shows anatomy, shows a body, shows a little bit of three-dimensional type design. You want to make sure that the lines ain't always flat, always curve everything. Don't go like this. That's not how it doesn't look. You want to like make it curved outward from the skull, round on top, and then curve right back into the cranium. Then I'm going to curve the back of his head here. All right, let's see here. Just for effects, I'm just going to add a little line here. Add a little line there. You know, he's a psychic Pokemon, so you want to add like some faint pops maybe. All right. Don't fret. I know there's like an attachment to his head that goes to his back. It's not really that serious. We'll wait till we get a little bit more closer to the finish. And then he got his neck. All right. And then from there, curve upward from the shoulder because he has that, it looks like a vest piece, but it's his chest. You notice how everything is going toward the center line here. You notice that, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Bouncing off the shoulder, going downward See how it's not curved. I mean, see how it's curved. Pardon. Oh my God. See how it's curved. Toward the center. Little crosshatch lining there. All right. Show a little bit of armpit here. Just a line, a couple of lines there. Curved outward, curved inward, and the second line. Show his back, curved once again. And then curved inward until we reach the hips. Let me erase some of this line work. Then he has the stomach, his abdomen, and then meets with the hips. There we go. So far, so good. Now we're going to go into the shoulder. Just refining the line just a little bit because now I feel a little bit confident how things are looking. Then I'm going to go into the arm. Because don't forget, this is a different perspective. It's not the line, the arm is going straight. It's going straight toward you. So you're going to be showing what it calls a shortened perspective of the arm. All right. So you don't have to show the whole entire arm, just the outer regions. Then I'm going to put in like start refining the lines on the fingers. Now, when it comes to this, I know it's going to be a little bit weird. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do first is start working on a sketch. This right here will be the first finger. This will be the second finger. Again, see how lightly I'm doing it? Just so I feel like, all right, I know how this is supposed to look. Then there's the third finger, kind of like his thumb. And then from the thumb, reaching out to that first finger we created. And then of course, the close-in line for his arm there. So now I have a better idea how things are supposed to look with the hand. Now I can go a little bit darker. All right. Now let's work on that. I'm just going to clean up some of the line work here. Add a couple of hash line shade. You don't have to, but that's just my style. All right. I'm just looking at the body a little bit. I'm going to make that just a little bit thicker. You can make the necessary changes as you go along. There's nothing wrong in seeing imperfections, and you want to fix them while you're drawing. Sometimes you see that. Now for the next arm here, I am going to overlay the stick line that I created by adding some meat to the bones, as I call it. Starting at the middle of his chest, adding that the arm. Now Mewtwo is not a muscular person, even though he is one of the most powerful Pokemon characters. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to start working on that hand. Now, you see I already have a circle there already that shows where the hand is going to be at. Now, I'm going to do is I'm going to, from the wrist, I'm going to add that thumb. Another circle here. Another circle there. Outward from there. Finger here, circle there. From there, I'm going to go up from the next side of the wrist. Pretty much follow the motion of that finger. Add another circle there. So now I have a more confident idea how things are supposed to look. All right, so now I'm going to go and start darkening and refine the line detail. You want to make sure you show a little bit where the fingers bend. All right. Show the knuckles. Attach it to the arm. There we go. You add some shading. Lines show where the fingers bend. All right, so let's get to that anatomy now. All right, so he has that lower purple body, lower abdomen there. So from the circle, I'm going to start sketching the circle that I created. I'm going to start darkening it around there. going behind the hind legs. And then I'm going to start working on those hips. Let me zoom out, zoom out a little bit. There we go. I already see an error that I have to probably fix, but that's not a problem. Make it a circular at the tip of the tail. Look like a teardrop a little bit. Then it thins in toward the middle. And then it widens up as it goes back toward the body. There we go. Just going to darken it a little bit. Whoops. As you can see here, what I really want you guys to get out of this is that how utilizing shapes help you give you a better, powerful outcome finish when it comes to doing your drawings. Now you're probably asking, Kel, what kind of mistake you're talking about? You said you saw a mistake. Yeah, well, I think I didn't make the legs is not gonna be long enough to what I want, and so let me see if I can just adjust this a little bit. You know, I apologize if you guys, especially when you're doing it on paper, don't have the abilities to do this. Believe it or not, I only been drawing digitally for like 3 years now, and I really like it. I mean, if you guys have not got a digital tablet, I recommend getting one. You see how I'm using a rectangle? See how I'm using a rectangle? Then kind of like a flathead triangle. Circles for the toes. You can add another circle for the back. Okay. And then the next hind leg, which it begins almost toward where the purple is. See how I'm doing that? Rectangle. Ooh. Circle. Another circle. And a circle. That'll be for his legs there. All right, so. Oh, and while I'm here, let me add that line that goes connects to the back of his head. There we go. It's already look like you already see the finish. All right. Let me clean up some of this line work. All right, so now I'm going to finish this up with the legs. All right. All right. And then just clean up the line work. Clean. Start erasing that. The guidelines that you use to make this happen, make this possible. All the guidelines, of course, the face, the body work. You can add a couple of hash lining, shading, or you can start coloring it. Use your markers, color pencils, things like that. All right. And there you have it. There's your Mewtwo. So what I'm going to go on to the next one is, of course, when you're drawing Pokemon, you have to do a Pikachu. So what I'm going to do next is Pikachu. You have to do a Pikachu. Pikachu is an electric type Pokemon who of course, was introduced in first gen, and Pikachu is renowned for being very well known, obviously, and very recognizable. Over the years, Pikachu has become so popular that he's reserved the rights to be the Pokemon franchise mascot. So, if I'm going to draw Pokemon, I have to do Pikachu, and this will be our last drawing. Thank you very much for hanging out with me, and I'm going to once again, due to time, I'm just going to go ahead and just go right through this real quick, and then hopefully you guys can follow along. If you have problems and issues, of course, just pause the video and or rewind it, things like that nature. So let's get started, shall we? So this one here, I chose a Pikachu pose with him sitting down, looking all joyful. Using two circles here. This time, I'm having the line going horizontally first for the eyes. More rounded than flat. The nose is kind of close to the eyes, so I'm gonna have it right there. And then, of course, from that center line that I created, I am going to bounce off from that, curved away, making sure it's a smile, but you want to have that TP type mouth, where it's curved away. And then from there, meet again in an oval type fashion. There we go. And then I'm going to have one line coming from the head going upward and another line going toward that way. That'll be indicating his ears. Then from the shoulders, bouncing off the circle I created, I'm going to start with the first arm appendage here. More like a chibi type style arm. Nothing detailed yet. Remember, you should be drawing this very, very lightly. And then from there, center line, another appendage, a circle here, another circle there, circle here, and another circle there. And that will be for his legs. And then of course what I'm going to do is a line, zigzag, more in a triangle, not triangle, but it will be looking like a triangle in a minute. His tail, supposed to be looking like a lightning bolt. And then have a line going out that way there. All right, what I'm going to do is shrink this down just a little bit. If it doesn't fit on your page or it doesn't look like it, should start over or make the necessary adjustments that you need to do. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start refining the lines a little bit, starting with the head. Bouncing off from the scalp, I'm going to have curved point at the tip, curve once again to meet with the head. All right, same thing again. Point, curved, and meet with the head. All right, I'm going to just put the little line there to show me where the black tip of the ears will be. And then I'm going to curve outward here by the eye, outward more, curved again, curve inward to meet with the chin. All right, might have to raise this up just a little bit. There we go. That's what will be where the one cheek will be at. Next cheek, red circle line for the cheek there again. Curved from the ear downward, meet with the shoulder. Curved on the back, one more hump. Let me show you what I mean. Erase some of this line work. We look at the reference, has one circular motion there, and then it goes outward again to go meet with the hind legs. There we go. Then I'm going to go ahead and start working on those appendages, the arms first. And then he has five little fingers. All right. And then what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to start working on that tail. adding meat to the bones. I'm going to erase some of this line work so I don't get confused how it's supposed to look. Again, all this is just sketching. Add the stripe here, another stripe here. All right. All right, so now I have a better idea how things are supposed to look. Obviously, I'm going to add a little bit more details to it. Matter of fact, what I just now noticed is that I think his ears are just a little bit longer. Before I go any further, let me do that. I noticed it looked like that one ear to the side is longer than past his foot. If you look at the reference onto to the right hand side, you can see that. All right, there we go. All right, so there we go. Just make sure that one ear doesn't look longer than the other. Try to use a ruler and measure out, see if it's the same size or at least close enough to it. It would help you in the long run. You don't have to worry about the ears looking very off. So now I'm gonna mess with the opacity on my computer here. This is how light it should look. And now I'm going to start adding and refining the lines a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding a little bit more circular motion for the eyes. Darken them up a little bit. All right, there we go. Then I'm going to add that little dot for his nose. Then I'm going to think the mouth is just a little bit more higher than I expected. But don't worry, that's why you make the guidelines, so you can check for yourself and make those necessary changes. Pika Pika. Pikachu. Ha. All right. Add the little cylinder shape off the cheek. be a bit much. There we go. Actually, that's the wrong direction. All right, now we'll work on the next ear. All right, let's work on the side of the head now. Work on the back. Yes, stripe here and a stripe there. Work on the arm. Two, three, four, five. All right. I had that line there just to show a little bit of anatomy. Not necessarily in the reference, but you don't have to use it. It's just my style. Close it in. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the hind legs. We'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. His foot does stick out. One, two, three, four. Close that in, and then I'm going to work on to the tail. There we go. Zigzag motion. And then meets with the body. And then it has like kind of like a dark area here for the tail. And then just clean off your work. And there you go. Now you're ready to color it, ink it, do whatever you like to it. You know, add some shading. Add some electricity. I don't like that. I'll get rid of that. There we go. Add some crosshatch lines. There we go. Add some grass. And of course, an artist always signs his work. All right. So, there you have it. Pikachu. I'd like to thank the library for inviting me to do this workshop with you guys. This was fun. I wish there was more time. I would definitely have a few more Pokemons I would love to draw with you guys. But I do hope that this tutorial do help you around the long run. And if you have if your drawings, so you'd like to share with the library, please do. Email it to the youth center department and have it shared with me. I'll definitely put it on my Instagram, Night and Day Anime, and also make it probably put it on their website or show it off. So remember that. Thank you, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the next level. Remember, you gotta draw them all. Pokemon. Have a good day. Stay healthy and blessed, everyone. Have a good one. Thank you.